So I was crying, I was yelling, sitting on the floor and again standing up. Proud moment for me in my whole career. Nothing is impossible in this world. If you have a good plan, if you have that goal, if you set a goal and work hard for that, there's nothing impossible in this life. I remember during my night shifts and during my internship, my friend would ask me, why you're so energetic? Why? It's 4 a.m. I said, I'm so happy. I'm doing what I love.
Get ready to speed up your journey with the Smart Growth Rocket podcast, hosted by Francesca Cadhit.
This is your host, Francesca Cadhit, and today I'm joined by the amazing Nooshin Sarreshtehdari. Now, Nooshin is an incoming PGY1 Family Medicine Resident at the University of Toronto. She has served as a medical doctor in both rural and urban areas, providing comprehensive care to a diverse range of patients. Not only is she passionate about helping patients, but also about enhancing opportunities for non-traditional medical applicants and international medical graduates, or IMGs. So welcome, Nooshin.
Hi, Francesca. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm so excited to dive into this conversation. And so usually what I like to do is just get a little bit of background and get a bit of an introduction into the guest and your story, your journey. So could you please share your personal journey into the field of medicine? What inspired you to pursue medicine, and how did your path evolve over time?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for this question. I'm originally from Iran. I was born in a family of doctors. So I familiar with medicine. I was familiar since I was a little kid. My dad was always my role model up until now. And I decided to become a doctor since I was like 6 years old. And since then, I've been passionate about medicine. And I always study really hard. I went to gifted school in Iran, but always wanted to pursue my education in other country and study abroad. So I went to Armenia, which has one of the oldest international medical universities in Eastern Europe. So yeah, I went to med school there. I learned another language, another culture. I studied English, but because English wasn't their first language, so I learned Armenian. And after that, I just communicated with my professor in Armenian, not English. And then after finishing my med school, I went back to Iran. And it's not my first time being an IMG in Canada. It's my second time. So I took all the qualification exams of Iran Medical Council. And I started my postgraduate internship in Iran in order to get my license in Iran. So I went through 18-month internship, comprehensive internship. And after that, I finished my course, and then I got my license and started to work for a year in both rural and urban settings as a GP or general practitioner, because we don't have family doctors in Iran. Then I got married to love of my life. I moved to Canada in 2019. And since then, I just started a new life, moving to a new country, getting married and become a wife. So it was really challenging. And then I worked in different settings as a clinical assistant in different clinics. I was both in rural and urban. Still I'm working, although I got matched to residency, and being a research assistant in one of the clinics and also in Kensington Eye Institute, and different volunteering, because I really wanted to learn about Canadian culture, about language, about people. So I think one of the best decisions that I ever made was my volunteering job at Cancer Center at South Lake Regional Health Center, volunteering in our community centers, or even volunteering to mentoring youth homeless. So I started doing a lot of volunteerings. And then meanwhile, I studied my exam, passed the exam. So yeah, and now I got matched to residency and so excited.
How did it feel when you got the news that you matched?
Oh yeah, oh my God. I remember, it's funny. Sometimes you plan ahead. For example, if this day comes, I will plan like this, but it's not always going according to your plan. So I remember before getting my result, I said, okay, I'll be well dressed, prepared. I will record myself for that moment and share that moment with everyone. But I got really bad cold I don't know, that new flu that now everyone got it. So I was dying.
Oh,
So I was
perfect
sitting on,
timing.
yeah, oh my God. I was sitting on a couch. I was so tired. I put my laptop on my lap and I was just waiting for the result. And I remember my husband came and asked me, "Do you want me to record?" I said, "No, I don't feel okay. That's fine." But apparently he put a camera somewhere and I didn't know he's recording. So we were holding hands. And when the result just popped out, I forgot I'm sick. So I was crying, I was yelling, I don't know, sitting on the floor and again standing up.
Oh my
So yeah,
gosh.
it was a great, proud moment for me in my whole career. Yeah.
Wow. And you mentioned there were so many steps leading up to it. You volunteered. There was a huge shift in your life in 2019 when you moved to Canada, had to adjust to the culture and to being married, to being a wife. There were so many different adjustments to make. And the perseverance, everything that it took to get to this point, I think that's incredible. And really leads up to my next question, which is, as an IMG, of course, there are unique challenges. So what challenges did you face when transitioning into the medical system in Canada?
Like Canada, like getting matched to healthcare in Canada, like everywhere around the world, it's hard because you need to pass exams no matter where are you coming from. But Canada is the hardest one compared to all, even harder than state. So beside that hard process, it's not clear. There's no clear pathway. Yes, we know like we should clear the exams, apply for residency, but it's not this much simple. One of the most challenges is when you just like when I moved to Canada, everyone when they ask me like, okay, what do you do? I said, I'm a doctor. I said, oh, good luck. The negativity and the stigma, oh, it's impossible to get matched. It's impossible to make it. So it's one of the biggest obstacle because you will see everyone out there enjoying their life with other careers. When they come to Canada, they easily can find job or take some courses and continue their life, having work-life balance, going take a trip. But as a doctor, you can't do all of that. And on top of all, there is no, as I mentioned, there is no clear pathway. Yes, there are amazing organizations now. They're helping IMGs to prepare them for the exams, guide them with like CVs, personal statements, but still it doesn't mean like the thing that worked for me worked for someone else. It for each individual is different, and because there is a big competition and you need to be unique, like you can't get matched easily because there are fantastic physicians from all around the world with tons of experiences, tons of researches. So you need to be unique in order to get matched. And all these processes put a lot of stress on you. And even working as a clinical assistant, not something easy. For example, in Manitoba, you apply, there's a license, you can get that license, and they count that license as a recency of practice. But in Ontario, we don't have we have licensed physician assistant, but for clinical assistant, no. And you need to call many clinics, you need to see many physicians in order to be accepted. Because I understand them, because it's their work, it's their career, it's their life. They need to trust someone in order to be their assistant. So you need to prove. Many of them won't accept anyone as an assistant. You need to be volunteer first. Then they get to know you, they have a chance to know you. So then they will allow you to be their assistant. So there are, and the exams themselves, so very hard to be prepared. It's not just routine exams that you had in med school. So you need, yes, for people who have studied in Europe, like in UK, Australia, so they have the similar system as Canada. So for them, it's so easy to pass this exam. Like first exam, which is multiple questions, MCTQE1, but for rest of the physicians from other part of the world, so it's really hard to prepare for that exam because the questions are not the way we used to it. So it's completely different. The approach, the ethics, it's different. Like we know ethics. We have studied ethics in our med school, but in Canada it's different. It's more prominent, more visible. So you need to learn those. And those are the challenges actually.
Wow. It sounds like there are so many unique challenges. There's the negativity that you mentioned, people telling you, oh, it's impossible, which is so discouraging to hear. But then there's also the competition. It's so competitive, these exams that are so different. And then, as you mentioned, it isn't as clear what the path is or what to do from there. So there are so many different obstacles that somebody has to overcome in order to get to that point, in order to get matched. And so, with all of those obstacles, how did you navigate these obstacles and what strategies were most effective for you?
Like at first, I would just focus on the exams, although I started my volunteering, but it was just once a week. Or I was a clinical assistant, which helped me a lot because when I was working with my supervisor, I could understand how they approach the cases, how they manage the cases according to Canadian guidelines. So it helped me a lot. So I just focused on exams to clear them with high scores because it's a competition. You need to have a really high score. But I don't want to discourage people who hasn't like high scores. Like it doesn't matter, to be honest, but again, it's an option when you can get a higher score and be unique in that area. It helped me a lot when I started to work as assistant, and like I took courses, prepared myself, I found a study partner, and together we were studying. It helped me a lot. But I think one of the most key factors that helped me in this pathway was when like I didn't know something, when it wasn't clear to me, I start to ask. Some people would feel shy to ask. Okay, if one person didn't respond me, I won't ask the other one. No, you need to ask tons of people because it's competition. Many people won't help you because also they are in the process of getting matched. I don't think it's not a correct belief to not help others because it's a competition. Because I believe each of us, each of us have their own destiny. No one can get the things which is mine. I can't get yours. You can get mine. And I believe when you help others, as a karma, it comes back to you. And let
Exactly.
me tell you, the people who helped me, they cleared their exam, they were applying, they helped me a lot and they got matched. I told them, thanks for helping me. And I do believe you will get matched this year. And they got matched. And the people who didn't help me, many of them still they didn't get matched. So this is the problem because it's a competition. Some people won't help you. They know, but they won't help you because they will say, oh, it's competition. That person is younger than me. That person has more experience than me. So why should I help? So I think I had very good friends who helped me. And I had a good support of like family, my husband, and amazing mentors and my persistency. So helped me a lot to overcome all these obstacles. Yeah.
That's the thing with medical school. It can be such, I don't want to use the word toxic, but it can be such a competitive environment. And in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, that can lead to it being a more toxic environment if it's too cutthroat and people are at each other and don't want to help each other. But it sounds like you, of course, you were helpful to others, but then others were also helpful to you. So you had that network of support there, that community there, that really everyone was able to help lift each other up and then reach those goals together, which I think is wonderful. Now, thinking about a little bit more in depth about your journey. So, could you walk us through your experience with the residency application process in Canada and maybe some specific advice that you might give to other IMGs or even non-traditional applicants who are aiming to secure that residency position?
Yeah. To be honest, CaRMS application, it's one of the toughest part. You think after clearing exams, so you're done. It's easy. You just apply. No. Filling those questions and sections in the CaRMS application, which is for residency, it's whole different story. So some of the parts are confusing. So what I did, again, I asked, and if I wasn't sure about the answer, I just contact them. Easily ask them. It's very important because it's not clear. I advise everyone just ask. That's fine. Ask from 10 people. If you didn't get answer, go for next person. Even 100%, that's 100 people, that's fine because it's not clear. So for the CARMS, what I did, I asked my friend who already got matched, like they were residents at U of T. So I asked, for example, for this section, what you have written. And as I told you, because I took courses for the exams, and those organizations we became friends. And I asked them because they had a lot of experiences with many applicants. So I asked them, for example, for this part, what should I write? Because even with simple explanation, your application may become like completely different and outstanding compared to others. So you need to be cautious, like about your work experience, about your, for example, it has sections about the activities. For example, when you go to different conferences, like after clearing my exams last year, I went to different conferences. I took different courses, even while I was applying for CaRMS, because I wanted to be unique. Because in my case, I wasn't belong to those two categories. So some people are fresh graduate,
Right.
which is the advantage. I wasn't fresh. It was just past 5 years after my internship. So I wasn't fresh, like 4 years. And I wasn't that much experienced like other physicians, I don't know, 20 years, 15 years. So I didn't belong to any of this group. Even while I was applying for CaRMS, I took a course at U of T School of Continuing Education about public health and research. I took a course of leadership in healthcare it was providing by Rotman School of Management. So even while I was applying for CaRMS, I applied for different courses to make my application outstanding.
Yes.
Or for example, when I went to BC for FMF conference, which is for family physicians, I was looking for observership opportunity in that whole 1 week that I was in BC. So I had an observership in BC. I found a doctor. I communicated with her because she was Armenian, from Armenia, the same school that I studied. So
Right.
I found her and just communicated with her and asked her to be her observer. I wanted to make my application unique. This is the key factor because there are some routine things that everyone else has done it. The same volunteering at hospital, the same, I don't know, certificates like about indigenous people. So all of us, we know because we moved to Canada, we never been in contact with indigenous people. So we need to learn about them. All of us will go to that and take that course. So when someone go through our applications, oh, same courses, because there are limited courses out there, but still there are courses which are unique and makes you unique compared to others. So I think it's very important to have those certificates, activities, and volunteering and work. Some people think, okay, my work wasn't related to medicine. Why I should put it in that application? Put it. It makes you different. It makes you unique. Like I remember during COVID, my husband had a startup. I worked to analyze their data regarding they had cameras, thermal cameras, and I was analyzing the data from those cameras. Oh, who has fever? Oh, there is a outbreak in that, for example, site. So let them know that they need to go for a COVID test. So it's related, but not that much related to medicine, somehow in between. But I put it in my application that I work there. So why not? Whatever I'm telling people, like, do as much as you can and put everything in that application because that makes you outstanding. That makes you unique. Because what I love about Canadian healthcare system as a doctor, maybe in other countries, you need to be just a doctor. But in Canada, you need to be multitask. You shouldn't just be a doctor. You should have other talents.
Yeah.
So I'm trilingual, which makes me unique. Some person knows, I don't know, 5 languages. Amazing. Some people know, I don't know, music. They have other talents. They are athletes. So put all of those in your application. Why not? That makes you different. So because we have different sites for residencies in Canada. So according to your talents, according to your experiences, they're going to choose you. And you need to put all those capabilities there and show who you are. So yeah, I think those are the key factors which can help applicants.
Those are such golden nuggets of wisdom. So I hope everyone or anyone who's listening, I hope you're jotting this down. What I really got out of what you mentioned and what really stood out to me, as you mentioned, is being a go-getter and really just going after those opportunities. Don't be afraid, right, to reach out for observerships. Don't be afraid to make those phone calls and ask, right? And also have that diverse range of experiences so that you can stand out, so that you can be unique. That's depending on whatever your interests and your unique skills are, right? Because there, as you mentioned, there are so many different applicants. So whatever it is that makes you stand out, you definitely want to make sure you mention that. Really
Yes.
important. And you are such a go-getter,
And
which
build
means
connections. Connections are,
connection is so important.
you can't imagine many of my positions that I have now because of my connections. You can't imagine, like, I was volunteering at a hospital. There is a cafeteria there. And the person who was the owner of the cafeteria, because he was Iranian Armenian. So even like every time when I would say hi, like we're talking in Armenian. So one of the observership, like with the doctor that I was looking for to talk to him, to see him because of his role at the hospital, he was really busy. And it's so hard sometimes to reach to people because there are barriers. Even if when you call, they won't let you to see that person. You know what I mean? It's not just simple to go to their office. Hello, I'm here. I want to be your observer, or I want to be like, I want to talk to you. No, I asked him because he said, "Oh, that doctor, I know him. He's coming to our cafeteria for the coffee. I can talk to him about you." And he did it.
Wow.
He did it. And it's funny that I saw that amazing, he's an amazing physician. He's a VP of hospital. So I met him at one of the gatherings and I talked to him. I'm looking for observership at hospital. He said, I will ask the physicians who will accept the observership. And when my friend, who was the owner of the cafeteria, he talked to him. He said, "Yes, I met Nooshin. He talked to me, but see, he did it for me because of the simple, some connections you wouldn't think of, like they would be that much helpful, but at the end, they will help you a lot. So connections are important. Friendships, connections, resilience, adaptability. Those are key factors in this hard process, difficult process.
Absolutely. And with all of that going on, I mean, there's so much to balance. Like you said, when it comes to being a doctor in Canada, it's not as simple as just being a doctor, for example. There are so many different things, right? It's about being a well-rounded applicant, a well-rounded person in so many different ways. And so when it comes to balancing roles like clinical duties, like research, like life, that's all very demanding. So how do you manage your time and what tips can you share with pre-med students or medical students who are striving to juggle very similar responsibilities?
Yeah, I love this question. You know why? Because when you are younger, you think, oh, I don't have time. I need to study. It's so hard. But when you get older, you realize, oh my God, I had plenty of time when it was in my 20s. Oh my God, like I had plenty of time when I was at high school. How could I say I didn't have time? But it's so hard, to be honest. It's so hard to have balance in everything. But let me tell you a key factor here. Let me share my story that I thought at the beginning when I was preparing for the exams that, okay, I need to be isolated, just studying 24/7 at home, not going outside, not seeing friends, doing nothing, just studying, but didn't help. It didn't help me at all. I was tired. I faced burnout. I was disappointed. I didn't have any courage to study because we are human beings. We need to have work-life balance. We need to have balance in everything. So what I did, first, like my husband and I decided to go to gym regularly. Like I was doing exercises at home, but when you go out, when you are in touch with other people, when you talk, like you will boost your energy, boost your mood. You become motivated. And we start to go to gym on regular basis because we have a proverb in Farsi that when you want to have a healthy mind, you need to have a healthy body. Healthy minds are in healthy bodies. So when I start to go to gym regularly, like and then after coming back to home, I start to study every day, it was completely different for me. Like I could see my understanding, my focus, it's now like way beyond my expectations because I had my workout. I had my time with my husband, with friends, going there, doing some activities like increasing endorphin, serotonin. So yeah, my ability to focus, study more became significantly increased. Then I start to put regular schedules every day. Okay, from this time to this time, what I'm going to do. From this time to this time, what is the next plan? So it's very important because it's so difficult. Like in Canada, because you take care of everything yourself. When you are in your home country, like usually you have parents, you have relatives, they take care of many things for you. Or with phone calls, you can do many of your jobs, like whatever you want. But here, everything is on your shoulder. And I was so lucky to have my husband by my side because of his support, dedication to my career and my success. I'm so grateful to have him because it's very important to have someone who can understand you. So together we had a plan. Okay, if I'm working outside now, if I'm going out, so like even simple thing, cooking, like having dish at home, it's important. I'm not fan of fast food. Every time when I am coming from work, he's cooking or he's ordering something for me. And then I start to cook for him maybe later. Like I said, okay, if I want to go to work, I need to have my time for studying. I need to have my time to spend time with my family, with my husband, with friends. And after having a proper schedule, it's hard. At the beginning, we would say, having a schedule, having a plan. No, it's really hard to manage everything. But for a month, when you follow those plans, then it becomes a routine. So it becomes a routine for you. You will follow it. And I can tell you, Francesca, like during last year, up until now, if you see my CV compared from last year and this year that I applied for residency, it's completely different and it's like mind blowing. When I start my observership, one of my supervisors, she said, "Oh my God, you did a lot of things. How could you manage those?" Waking up around 6 a.m., sleeping around 12 a.m., like not having even small nap during a day, like working different things. Like I realize how capable I am. Human beings are capable. We can't imagine how capable we are until we come out our comfort zone. When we face difficulties, we realize that, oh my God, we are capable of doing a lot of things. But having a good support is also important, and having a good person to guide you and finding someone as a role model. When you have a good mentors, I have always amazing mentors in my life up until now. And two of the same supervisors and my preceptors become my preceptors during residency. So I was so amazed by them that I worked really hard to become their residents. When I look at them, I said, oh my God, they do research, they are associate professors, they have their families, they have their children. I don't have kids. I sacrificed having kids because of my career, because it was so hard and I didn't want to pass those stresses to my kids. So I said, okay, after I settle down, usually it happens to all immigrants, especially who are in the medicine or healthcare, because it's so stressful. And I always admired doctors who are like female doctors, that they came here with their family, they have children. I had a friend that she had a 3 years old daughter. She was working, she was teaching to high school student, and she got matched. And I said, well done, you're a superwoman. It's so hard, really, it's so hard, but it's not impossible. I want to tell everyone who will watch this podcast or video later that impossible is impossible. Nothing is impossible in this world. If you have a good plan, if you have that goal, if you set a goal and work hard for that, there's nothing impossible in this life.
Absolutely. You mentioned burnout and how to tackle that. You mentioned having a strong support system, believing that you can and seeing how capable you are and really just challenging yourself. So these are all such important pieces of information. Now, pivoting a little bit. So for those who are listening, and maybe they're coming from more non-traditional backgrounds, what advice do you have to make those applications stand out and to really succeed in medical school? You did touch on it briefly, but any other nuggets of information?
Yeah, sure. One of the most important thing about medicine is you need to love this field. Like I see many other people, like they do amazing job, they have amazing career, but when you talk to them, they're not that much passionate, but they would say, no, I'm happy. What I wouldn't say, oh, I'm passionate, but I am successful, I'm happy, I have good money. But for medicine, you need to be in love with medicine because it's a huge, long journey. So it wouldn't be just 2 years, 3 years. It will be whole your life. Because even after becoming a physician, when you start to work, you need to be lifelong learner. It doesn't mean that you don't have to study, you don't have to read, you don't have to do, you should continue all this through your life, end of your life. You need to be up to date, you need to read. There will be new research, new medications, new articles, everything. So you need to be up to date. For that, you need to be in love with medicine. Otherwise, you get disappointed, you get tired, because even compared to other jobs or careers, you won't earn that much money when you're at med school, or like even when you become a resident. Like you would see someone who is way younger than you, like they're earning a lot of money with other careers, but as a medical doctor, for you is completely different. And one of the most important things beside that is being persistent, because medicine is a demanding field. And you need to be persistent. You need to have resilience. You need to be adaptable quickly to environment. Because, for example, about pandemic that happened, the COVID, like that was huge for all of us, especially for healthcare system, because they were frontline. And many of physicians, nurses, they lost their life because of the pandemic. Like you need to sacrifice yourself for this field. You need to be ready for this field because there's a lot of sacrifices. The time that other people going, enjoying their life, you need to study. You need to be at home. I can tell you 3 years, I didn't have a weekends. I was just studying whole weekend. I had classes. I had like mock tests on weekend. So for 3 years, my husband and I, we were at home during weekends. And other people, our friends, they were inviting us. Sorry, we can join you. Sorry, we can take a trip. Sorry, we are at home. I need to study. So they need to be prepared. Because some people, like, I remember while I was preparing for CaRMS application, one of my husband's friend, he came to Canada for a visit as a tourist. So he started to talk to me. Oh, I'm very interested into medicine. He's a very successful guy, has a big company in Iran. Like he has done a lot of things. So he has time now for himself because he reached end of his career. So he settled in his career. So he wanted to pay attention to himself now, spend time and do things for himself. He said, no, what, Nooshin, I'm interested in medicine. I said, nice. Okay, tell me what you're interested in. I said, one of my friends, he's a surgeon. And I enjoy, he shows me the pictures. I enjoy what he's doing. I said, for reaching to that position, to that level, you need to study 7 years of like med school, or in Canada, like 4 years of bachelor and then 4 years extra. Then applying for residency for many years, 6 years, 5 years. It's just like 12 years of study. Are you prepared for that? And beside that, are you prepared to not sleeping, all the time studying and sacrificing and spending a lot of money? Exams, preparations. He said, no, I'm fine. And the funny part came out. When I start to work on my application, he was here. So at the end of his trip that he wanted to go back to Iran, he said, you know what? I don't want to go. I don't want to be a doctor. Thank you so much. When I saw, because I am a very positive person. Even if I am stressed, if I am sick, when you see me, I'm like this. You won't realize that I'm tired because always I am positive. I'm full of energy. I remember during my night shifts and during my internship, my friend would ask me, why you're so energetic? Why? It's 4 a.m. I said, I'm so happy. I'm doing what I love. I'm still my friend. She is a resident, urology resident in Iran. And we always, when we talk through phone, like she's reminding me about the time when it was 4 a.m. We were switching our night shifts. So she went to have rest. I take over the ER. And she just asked me when the patient's lab result, blood work result was ready, just let me know. I thought she may just right away let me know. But she meant in the morning when I wake up, 7 a.m., just let me know when we go for a like grand round. I remember at 4:30 a.m., I just went to her room. I just said, hey, buddy, the result is out. She just looked at me. Nooshin, are you crazy? I just came to room around 4 a.m. and it's 4:30. I was asleep. I said, you told me to share the results. She said, yes, but at 7 a.m., not now. Why you're so happy? Are you crazy?
Oh my gosh.
I said, sorry. Yeah, I know. I am so excited to work here. Yeah, I know you guys are tired. See, although I didn't show my stress, that guy could realize, my husband friend, he saw how much I am stressed, how much my husband is stressed. He's just helping me. We're going through applications. We changing a lot of things. Next day, like I can tell you for my personal statement, 3 months we just wrote, deleted. We wrote new version, deleted, changed it, deleted. And at the end, we found a version that we loved it. I asked for help, but still, it's your personal statement. It shows you as an individual. So who are you? And see, like it's demanding field, but at the end, it's so precious blessing. Even yesterday, one of the patients in the clinic that I'm taking care of them. And then my supervisor is just coming at the end, but I'm taking history, I am educating them. So when she find out that end of April is my last day of my work and I won't come back, it's in rural area, Bracebridge. So she brought me a present, Muskoka honey, which is local original honey. And she wrote a letter for me that thank you so much for helping us. Thanks for being amazing person, kind, caring. So those are rewarding moments to me. And I would never, ever change those moments with anything in my life. And even when my husband read those letters, he said, I want to become a doctor. It's so amazing. It feels so good. I said, yes, that's why we sacrifice. I always tell people, like when it comes to medicine, I said, you sell your youth. Exactly. You sell your youth to medicine. Years, you study, you prepare yourself for these moments to help other people's, to be a place that they can share. They can be themselves. They can talk about their like weaknesses, the moments that they are vulnerable, and you are the only person who can help them. So I think when pros and cons of medicine, you can have a better understanding and you can have a better decision and you can make a better decision to continue this field.
Wow. When you mentioned something that really stood out to me about what you said is you sell your youth, for example, for this. But the reason is all of these moments, those small moments and being able to help people, it's so meaningful that it's worth all of those late nights. It's worth losing your weekends for years and years. It's worth the however many years it takes to get to that point, to be able to help these people.
Yeah, sorry. I will say when I wear the white coat or my scrub, I'm completely different person. And you feel it. I don't know, maybe it's me because I am really passionate about medicine. I'm telling you, since I was 5 years old, 6 years old, I wanted to become a doctor and I have 3 medical licenses now. So I'm just collecting different licenses from all over the world. Like even people when they talk to me, they can see that passion through my eyes because it's rewarding. At the end, it's rewarding, in my opinion. So, yes, you are right. It does work.
And when you said it's helpful to know the pros and the cons, to know what you're in for, to know what to expect. To me, that really speaks to the importance of having a mentor, right? Having that mentor to be able to guide you through, or even just somebody that you can turn to during those really tough moments. What do I do? How do I get through this? So, how important have mentors been in your journey? How important have support systems been in your journey? You mentioned your husband, you mentioned a number of other mentors that you were able to lean on, but how important has that been for you?
Oh my God, I can tell you one of the most key factors in my success were my mentors and my support that I had. Like, even for example, first I will start from my husband, although he's not in medical field, but he helped me a lot. Even sometimes he's like mentoring me. Like, there was time that I was disappointed, I was tired. He said, "You can do it. I believe in you. You're capable. You've made to be a doctor. You're born to this world to become a doctor." You know how important it is to have someone encouraging you. Even for my Nakoski exams, like, he doesn't know about symptoms of the like diseases, but I gave him list of medical conditions and I asked him choose in between those medical like diseases or conditions. Go and check on Wikipedia about the symptoms, and you will be my patient. When I ask you, you will give me those symptoms, and I will come with the diagnosis. See, like, even he was enjoying, he was
Oh,
creating me. And now about my mentors. So I'm grateful that even during when I was a med student, I had an amazing mentors that still I'm in touch with them. I'm calling them. They like guiding me. Then when I went to Iran, I had amazing mentors there that I did research with them. We are in touch. But the mentor that I found here, they are the most amazing people that I ever seen. Like, I remember after finishing my exams, so I was looking for people who can be my mentors and help me in this process. So I remember I started my observership first, like a couple months before taking the exams. One of them, she said, the supervisor said, "I don't have time that much, just 2 weeks." I said, "Okay." But then she saw my passion. She allowed me to be there for 2 more months. And then there was another physician. I talked to that physician. She approved me. She said, "Okay, you can switch now." And then I said, "Okay, I want people who are related because I always been obsessed with U of T. And even I was going to their conferences as an IMG. So all of them were like, I don't know, residents at U of T, associate professors, lecturers, but I was the only IMG there. Hello, I'm an IMG physician. And they were so supportive. When I went there, the 2, 3 mentors that I found after that conference, because when I went there, I realized how amazing physicians are and associate professors at U of T. So everywhere in Canada, they're amazing. But because I was obsessed with U of T, when I was going to their conferences, so I said, wow, these people are knowledgeable, amazing physicians, but at the same time, they are down to earth. So I want to approach them to be their observer. When they have residents, they can't accept observer because this is the law that they need to train the residents. I can tell you, I emailed 20 physicians. I called tons of clinics. Some of them would say, "No, sorry, we don't accept observer, we don't accept assistant." Some of them would say, "We have residents, we can't." But at the end, I found amazing mentors that, Francesca, they changed my life completely. Even like I was like, for 2 of them, I was their observers for 2 months. Like, whole, if you count that, just 8 sessions of being an observer. But they changed me and their guidance, their support. Like, at the end, I was calling them and I told them, like, "I am so sorry that all the time I'm calling you. I'm asking you, I'm sending you emails, messages. I am so sorry, but I need your guidance." And I remember one of my supervisors and preceptors, he was like coming out of his clinic. It was night at 9 p.m. at night. He was so tired. I texted him, can I call you just for 5 minutes, not more? And he said, yes, sure, call me. I said, okay, for example, I have an interview. What is important factors? Like he taught me, you need to be yourself. Don't memorize like something which is belongs to you. Be yourself and show them who you are. He was right, because now you are sitting on the other side. You don't know who I am. I need to show who I am because it's a competition. So see, even they were tired, even during their clinic hours, like their lunch breaks. I was calling, what can I say? What can I do? There is another course. Should I take that? Should I do that? What research you can offer me? Yeah, they supported me a lot. That's why it's very important to find the right person. And when I was talking to my friends who are IMGs and they moved to Canada recently, like one of my friends, she said, I applied for volunteering at hospital, or I approached one of the physicians. They didn't respond me. And I said, that's it? So what did you do after that? You stopped? She said, yes. I said, you need to call tons of people. You need to, I remember one of my preceptors and supervisors, she is the chief of family medicine at CAMH. So I was texting, I didn't have anything from her, no email, no nothing. I found her on LinkedIn. I was messaging her on LinkedIn. And you know what? She told all of them, told me, your persistency was like very interesting to us, that someone is this much persistent and texting, asking for the opportunity. When they see you are this much passionate, they will support you. So find good, and I do believe one thing, when you set a goal, when you work really hard, karma, God, whatever you want to call it, they bring the right persons, right people in your way, opportunities. Some people believe in luck. I believe in luck as well. But as I'm aging and growing up, like I realized even you build your luck yourself. It's not something you sit there having fun, enjoying, resting, and it comes to you. No, you need to fight for it. You need to go and get it. And then it comes in your way. And finding a good mentor, finding a good support, it's very important in all the fields, not just medicine, in everything. Because as a human beings, our life is short. We don't have time to experience everything by ourselves. We need to ask, we need to learn from people who have the experience. You can use their experiences. When they see the passion and your hard working, they will share it. They won't hide it. They will love to share. So I think those were my success moments, that I had a good support and mentors, but I worked for it. I worked really hard to find those mentors, because they won't come after you. One of my friends, she told me, okay, why you didn't help me about the course that I found out you took for your exams? I said, excuse me, I shouldn't come after you. You need to ask me. I shouldn't come and say, hello, I have these experiences in Golden Trail for you. From where I should know that you need those experiences? You need to ask, and I will share it with you with my whole heart. Because Francesca, it's a very hard process. I decided myself, even though I was applying for residency, I started to educating and become a NAC OSCE instructor to IMGs. And my friend told me, you help them, help other people when you were still in the process of getting matched. You didn't match in that time, so you were in the process. And you helped other IMGs. And I remember my husband asked me, because my scores are high, but my NAC OSCE is like way like beyond expectations. It's really high score. 20 scored about the 2 standard deviation. So my husband said, you want to educate other IMGs so you don't afraid that they become your competitors? Because like he wanted to see my reactions and what is my response. And I said, no, I would love to help everyone, because we need to help each other in this process. Canada needs physicians, and people need physicians. We don't have enough doctors, so we need help each other. And I think having good mentors, having good friends will help a lot, and asking and being persistent.
Absolutely. There is a shortage of doctors, and so helping others become doctors can only help everyone in Canada. So, absolutely, I love that. I love that you did that. I love that you took the time to help other IMGs as you're actually going through this process of getting matched yourself. I think that really speaks to your character. And something else that stood out to me, which I think is a wonderful bit of maybe advice or at least a wonderful insight for any aspiring doctors out there, is what you mentioned about persistence and just going after, being a go-getter, really creating your own luck, right? So ensuring that you put in the time, the effort, making those phone calls, not just calling the one person, but calling lots of people to seek out those opportunities actively, which you did, right? And so with all of that in mind, this might be an obvious question because I did mention at the beginning that you're an incoming PGY1, but what's next for Nooshin?
Oh, so I have a lot of plans, but let's see, because I am at the same time, like, I have mixed feelings. I am super excited, but at the same time, I have stress because I never been resident before. So some physicians who moved to Canada, they been through residency before, but for me, it's new chapter, new life. But I plan to continue mentoring and helping other IMGs, which I'm doing right now. Many people reaching to me and asking me questions. So first of all, I want to continue helping my IMG colleagues, and CMGs, no difference. Anyone who needs help. But as a resident, I want to be more involved in creativity because there's a lot of burden on family doctors' shoulder. So I want to be part of the AI in healthcare system. And one of my supervisors, she's working on that. So I want to join there. And my plan is, like, after finishing my residency, being a perfect, amazing resident, learn as much as I can from my preceptors and learn from them how to approach cases, how to treat patients, how be an amazing physician. And then I enjoy educating, learning and educating, learn something and give it to others. Maybe in future, I plan to become lecturer, then associate professor. But one of the things is I'm thinking about what we can do to provide better healthcare to, like, suburban areas and rural areas because they need physicians. I will work on that as it's my next plan because we need to use our resources to provide a better care to people in rural area. They are amazing. They're lovely. Like, some of them, they don't have access to healthcare system for many years because we have physicians, but they can't take more than, I don't know, 1,000 patients. Many of the doctors that I'm working with, my supervisor, they are like having 1,500 patients. Just imagine. Still, there is lack of physicians and patients can't have access. And I really want to work on those and helping our healthcare system and having more physicians. And also maybe thinking of growing my family in near future. Yes. And like, it's hard to have a work-life balance as a resident, but I want to try my best because I do believe when I take a good care of myself, I can take a good care of other people. So
Right.
these are my plans, but let's see. Because I heard as a resident, you will get the opportunities to educate med students, which I love to do that. I enjoy teaching, educating. Yeah, these are my plans, but let's see what comes
Well,
next.
Nushin, if anyone can do all of the above, it would be you. I believe in you entirely, and I'm so excited to see what comes next for you.
Thank you
Now, with that, I love to wrap up with a fun question. So this is my fun question for Nushin.
so much. I
Would
got
you
stressed.
rather have free coffee for life, whatever it is your favorite coffee is, or free kickboxing classes forever?
Oh God. Actually, I'm not a coffee person. I
Okay,
love
you love tea.
Yeah, I'm tea person. So I enjoy teas like black tea, not even green, black tea.
Okay, maybe I should switch up the question. So would
Yes,
you rather have
tea.
free black tea for life or free fitness classes forever, whatever that fitness class is?
To be honest, I want to have both.
Of
Let
course.
me be honest with you, because just having free tea or coffee for a long period of time, it's not interesting. Having kickboxing for all your life free, it's not interesting. Yet you need to have balance. Sometimes you need to just relax, having tea or coffee, but sometimes you need to be in a like fighting moments, because I'm a warrior. My personality is I'm a warrior. When I set a goal, nothing can stop me. Even in summer, when I was going to Bracebridge for working as a clinical assistant, I had a very bad car accident. My car just rolled over. And many people get trauma after that. They can't drive. They won't go that place to just remind them. They get PTSD. After 4 days, I went back again to work. Be with patients. So I'm a warrior. I enjoy like being in actions, but not for all the time. So I want both of them. It's possible. Both of
So your
them.
answer is all of the above.
Not
Balance.
abusing balance.
It has been such a pleasure talking to you again. This has been such a wonderful and insightful conversation with so many great nuggets. Anyone who's listening out there, I really do hope that you're taking notes, because these are some golden nuggets in this conversation right here. So Nooshin, I'm so excited to see what happens next for you, and all the best.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And I hope whoever watched this video and listening to this podcast, I hope they enjoy it, first of all, and get valuable lessons from my journey. And I would love to help. If anyone wants, they can approach me via LinkedIn and message me, ask me questions. I would love to help. And I'm excited for myself for the next journey and chapter. And thank you so much, Francesca, for giving this opportunity. Still, there are a lot of things to cover for IMGs and meta students, but I think we covered the most important parts. But thanks again for giving this opportunity to me.